All right, we're going to jump right into our main topic, God of War.
Yeah.
Technically, God of War 4.
Yes. God of War, you play as Kratos in Norse mythology. He already fucking murdered and killed all of the Greek shit, even some Roman stuff too. So this was an epic game that took a long time to come out. The hype was
5 years.
real. 5 fucking years. Hopefully we don't have to wait another 5 for the next one. This was an instant buy and pick up for me since I saw Game Tree stuff for it. Same with Dan.
We actually will not have to wait that long. The developer, what's his name, Dave Jaffe or whatever.
You have it written down.
Do I? Oh, David Jaffe, yeah. From Santa Monica Studio already has come out and said that the reason for the delay into this game was setting up this new trilogy.
Oh my
so
God.
he said the next ones will come out quicker.
Yes.
Now, whether that means 4 years as opposed to 5 or 3 years
I
or
think it
2,
means
we'll
2.
see. But if anything like the first trilogy is a sign, it'll probably be about every 2 years.
I think next E3 we'll probably see the next trailer for the next God of War then. Yeah. Okay.
So we will not be waiting hopefully as long, which is good.
Do you want to talk about the story?
We both are going to talk about the story.
Well, are you
jump in.
you want to?
It was so good.
Take the
and you
ball
picked
off?
it. I want to hold your hand while we do this.
Okay.
We
no,
went on
it's
this adventure.
All right,
You
give us
high-fived me.
give us a quick rundown.
Basically, you start out as Kratos, played all the game as Kratos. I thought maybe at one point we might get a scene where you play as Atreus, but that never happened, kind of like you did with Ellie and Last of Us.
Right.
But that actually never happened. Story starts out with him chopping trees. He's building a funeral pyre for his now dead wife.
Now-
Here's the thing. Was it his wife?
It was his wife
Yeah,
and
okay. I thought it was his wife.
Atreus' mother.
second wife.
I believe she died from a sickness. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, that she died of a sickness. But as we will come to find out later in the game, Kratos is a little bit of an unreliable narrator, and then that some of the things he tells Atreus, and by proxy us the player, is not exactly true, and he hides the truth from us and Atreus, probably for good reason, because his life experiences are very traumatic and fucked up, and it's very obvious in this game he's not trying to repeat the pattern of violence and pain that he already experienced in the original God of War games.
This is true. So they build a funeral pyre. They get the ashes of the mother, Faye, by the way. We do get her name. And they set out on a quest, or they're going to set out on a quest to scatter her ashes at the highest peak in the realm. And but they're going to wait a little bit till he gets a little bit bigger, because Atreus suffers from getting weak sickness, like his mom, I guess, occasionally. And Kratos does not think he is strong enough for this adventure just yet.
Yeah, and then you're greeted by our antagonist of the game, Balder. He's referred to as a stranger at first, and you get into like one of the most epic fist fights ever with this dude.
It's a great fight.
And then you bust out that Spartan rage and beat his ass pretty rough, and throw him basically down like a canyon. It's pretty dope.
Basically make a canyon and throw him in it.
Yeah, it's awesome. This fight was crazy good. It blew my mind. I wasn't ready for how dope it was.
No, I wasn't either. I figured they'd build up to something like that, and right off the bat, and all I wanted to know after that was, what is the next one going to be to top this?
Yeah,
And they do top it.
They do top it, but we wouldn't see a boss fight for a while. You and Atreus set off. You can't stay in the house anymore. You fight a Cyclops. It's kind of a mini boss. It's not anything like wild. Well, it's not a Cyclops per se, but it looks and acts like a Cyclops.
Yeah.
So you make your way through the woods, and then you make your way to the main area, I would say, which is like this giant lake. And in the lake is this bridge that connects the realm. And
Before you get there, you meet the witch.
Oh yeah, you meet the witch, who you come to find out is Freya.
Strange wife of Odin.
Yeah,
And mother of Baldur.
right. And it's not made clear straight away if she is friend or foe. She seems a little bit ambiguous, but eventually she becomes your friend and helps you out, and even saves Atreus' life at one point. But by the end of the game, just jumping ahead a little bit, we're gonna come right back. She is definitely an enemy by the end of the game. There's no coming back from what you do.
Not from what she said either.
Not from what you said either. And we'll get to that near the end.
God damn.
And it's a major spoiler. So if you haven't played or beaten this game, we're going to spoil everything, but we're going to get there.
Spoilers.
Hashtag get the fuck out. Okay.
So we get to the Lake of the Nine.
It's a really cool place.
Yep.
I loved it. It was a
And
really awesome open world area.
The water is at its premium point, like the tide is in.
Yeah, it's a pretty full lake, and then as you progress through the game, the water drains more and more and more because the world serpent, I forget his name, he kind of just drains the water piece by piece, and he is fucking enormous. And I thought I was gonna fight him, but you never fight him.
Now, when you first encounter him, and I was like, what are we going to do to this thing with our little toothpick axe?
Yeah, I think they subverted our expectations a lot with this giant serpent
I
because
think it's
God
the
of War-
trailer's fault, because the trailer had that thing reaching up on the boat while they're both standing there in every trailer, and it's on the back of the game. I don't know about the collector's edition. I didn't get the collector's
They
edition.
make it seem like it's a
Yeah,
menace.
he makes it seem like he is like something
Yeah,
to fear.
right. But that's
he's
not.
chill.
It's not the case. He's
chill. He's our
he
homie.
hates Odin as much or more than you do. Oh, and so by the way, the big bad guys in the background are Odin and Thor. But now he helps you out. He even gives you back your little axe called the Leviathan axe, which you throw it, comes back to your hand. It's got ice properties. It's pretty freaking cool. There's like White Walker enemies though in the game that aren't affected by ice, so you have to use your bare hands. Or later on, you get another weapon that we'll talk about when we get there. I won't spoil it right now. That fucks those guys up. And that weapon you do get, I think most of you'll know what it is already if you play God of War, and it's fucking awesome when you get it.
It is very awesome.
It is double awesome.
I know what it is.
So, we basically go to the temple.
Well, we go to the temple, we meet the dwarves, and then we make our way to the elfin realm.
I think first, don't you go to the mountain and you can't get through?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we make our way up the mountain, and it's blocked off by this black smog, like smoke kind of crap, and you can't go through without getting hurt. The game won't even allow you to go through and try. And you meet Freya again, or the witch. At this time, we're still calling her the witch. And she basically tells you that the only way to get through is to collect a Bifrost from Alfheim.
Yep. So on our way to Elftown.
Elftown.
Elftown is. These aren't the elves that you remember.
there?
They almost look like they're kind of like bugs.
They don't.
fly
They
around.
don't ask you what your favorite color is.
No. These elves are pretty violent too. They're fun as fuck to fight. They're really fast and they require timing to kill. It's cool. It's a really cool area. Definitely looks very visually different. It's like pretty, but it's also has this kind of like taint about it. Like it's got this kind of like corruption about it. It's really interesting.
It's also the first realm that we go to that isn't Midgar. So
Correct.
it's really cool that they watch that whole experience through using the world tree to enter another realm. So
Yeah.
if you know anything about Norse mythology, there's 9 realms, which you do not unfortunately get to visit all of them in this game. They definitely left it open to use other ones later.
You visit most of them though, I'd say. Like half at least.
Half. Yeah,
Half,
but
yeah.
you don't get to go to like Asgard. You don't get to go to lots of other places. But yeah, it's definitely a very, very cool area.
I felt like also when in the traversing the worlds in this game, they almost try to avoid the places that the Marvel movies and the Thor movies frequented. Does that make sense? Like I felt like they tried to avoid those places.
They did avoid those places, but I didn't think it was because of that. I think, like, if you think about the original God of War trilogy, you don't storm Olympus till the third one.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do that comparison, Asgard is Olympus in this scenario. Why would you go there in the first game? You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
but like Jotunheim, you don't go there till the end, and they went to the Jotunheim in the Thor movie. The realm of the elves, I think they went to in Thor 2.
Go to Dark World, yeah.
The Dark World, they went to the elf realm there, but it was all fucked up because of the Aether.
Yep.
But in this game, it was not fucked up. It just had a little bit of corruption in it, but not much. And there's no speak of the Aether at all.
Well, there's no
Yeah, you
Aether
basically
in-
walked in on a civil war in that realm.
Right.
There's no Aether in.
Huh?
There's no Aether in God of War. It's just the Aether
Yeah, there is. There's craftable items that are like Aether something, like Aether cloth or some shit.
Yeah, it's in there. It's not.
It's in there, but it's not
prevalent. but-
Correct. Yeah, correct.
is. Okay.
So yeah, you go to the place of the elves, you do a bunch of stuff, and you leave. You got anything else to add about that? I don't remember too
I enjoyed
much.
the aspect of the kind of boss in this area where he's following you the whole time while sending more soldiers at you. Mm-hmm. Just seems like a pissed off bee.
Yeah, this is like
Just buzzing around, annoying the crap out of
This
you.
is like elf general dude, and you have to he throws just waves and waves and waves at you. Oh, so a really cool part in the elf spot I just remembered is the end of it is Kratos retrieves this shard, and you go to this like spiritual plane almost, and you have this vision of like Kratos talking to his dead wife, and
Before he goes in, he leaves Atreus outside and basically tells him, kill anything that comes near us.
yeah, he's like he puts him on guard duty. And then when you come out of the dream, you're only in there for like a minute or two, and then there's like a pile of dead fucking elves. And the
Atreus
kid
went
is
ham.
like, the kid's like covered in blood, like, where were you? You were gone for days. Ah! Like he's fucking pissed. He's like, I was only gone but 2 minutes, boy.